Hey guys, it's Jeremy. I'm going to do another video. I'm going to mix it up a little bit. It's going to be a mix of two things. It's really going to be a little bit about burning calories at the gym and, best exercises for burning calories and tips and tricks for the gym to get yourself going. It's really aimed at beginners. And some of you gym rats might understand, or maybe hopefully you'll learn something different. I got stuck in my routine and didn't want to try anything else. I was doing what was working, but hopefully you'll learn something too. You may be already comfortable doing what you do. However, this video is based really kind of on a mix of a Google search and my own experience. I'm going to leave a link in the description for where I got some of the best exercises, and then I'll riff a little bit. But as far as the Google search, I found a site that seemed pretty reliable. It's called medicalexpress.com. Again, it'll be in the description. They share the following list for burning calories, which is listed in descending order. So from most calories burned to least. So running, 8 miles an hour, 861 calories per hour. Taekwondo, 752 calories per hour. It's all per hour, so I don't have to repeat that. Vigorous lap swimming, 715 calories. The Stairmaster, 657 calories. Running at 5 miles an hour, 606 calories. These are all estimates based on, if I remember, it was a 160-pound person. The more you weigh, the more you'll burn. The less you weigh, the less you'll burn. But basketball, singles tennis, football, 584 calories an hour roughly. Rollerblading, 548 calories. High impact aerobics, 533 calories. That could be like a class, a group fitness class. Backpacking, ice skating, racquetball, roughly 511 calories. And cross-country skiing, 496 calories. Again, based on a 160-pound person, but every single body is different. Mine is different from yours. Yours is different from your cousin's. Theirs is different from their sister. So these are averages. The more you weigh, the more you'll burn. This can also vary depending on muscle weight versus fat weight. A person with more with more muscle will burn more calories than a heavier person. As the metabolic cost of maintaining muscle is higher than that metabolic cost of carrying fat. Meaning it takes more calories to maintain muscle. The metabolism is generally faster. But something to take into account is the intensity of the exercise. This can go for, I'm saying, rollerblading, for example, can be walking or running or whatever it is. There will be a difference between rollerblading at 4 miles an hour versus 6 miles an hour. To go faster will require more movement, burning more calories, and also a stronger push if you're rollerblading with the leg muscles. So your legs will develop a little more, you'll burn some more calories that way with the speed. And another example, walking at 4 miles an hour on a flat surface versus walking that same speed 4 miles an hour up a hiking trail in a mountainous area will be different. If you're going uphill, you're going against gravity. Requires a little bit more of a push to go uphill, so you'll burn more that way. But something always will go slightly different direction is something that I tell just about every single client I've ever worked with is to get to the gym approximately half an hour before each session. One, sometimes I don't always, mention it, and two, sometimes the person can't, or whatever it is. But usually the suggestion, the people who hire the trainer, people new to the gym, they don't know what they're doing, what I tell them is to get to the gym 30 minutes before the session. Two reasons. One, and I have felt the rush too, like I'm pressured for time, but is to have them feel less rushed, less pressured than as if they are running late and not clear-headed. It's to have more focus, to be more present with the workout, to have a better workout, to be more real with what you're doing, to get to the gym early. But the bigger reason, and I do this too before the weights, is a better, more balanced workout. To have that mix of cardio to lose a couple of pounds, to keep my heart strong, and to build muscle. So you have to have both. If you're doing only one, there's something you're missing. If you're doing only weights, you're not taking care of your overall cardiovascular health. You are, but to a lesser extent. And if you're doing only cardio, you're neglecting your muscle, which I said is more metabolically active. So it's to have a mix. They can have, what happens is that they can have a compounding effect for better results. So 1 + 1 = 3. Think of it that way. To do the cardio and the weights, it does not equal 2. 1 + 1, that compounding is 3. If you're considering starting a gym routine, and I tell everybody, is drop your thought that people are judging you. First of all, nobody cares. They're not watching you, they're thinking about themselves. But the bigger thing, I hate to be honest, but the bigger thing is that, and I take an example of, I can think of two. Arnold Schwarzenegger. When his prime, think about when he was Mr. Olympia or Mr. Universe, whichever one it was. He did not start out looking like that. He started out probably looking more like the most of us. I'm sure he looked a little bit better, but think about it. He might have started out looking more like the most of us. He did not start out Arnold Schwarzenegger. It may have taken him several years, several times a day to work out like that. So drop your judgment of yourself. You start where you're at. And the other example is The Rock, the wrestler. Now he's in all the movies. He is very open. The Rock is very open. If you look him up on YouTube, he has some real stories, some real struggles. And I totally admire him for putting it out there. But he talks about, I've seen a video of him on YouTube. He must have shot it himself. It was about him. He was doing strength training 3 times a day for several hours at a time. Excuse me. So say even if it was doing 2 hours, 3 times a day, that's 6 hours a day of working out at minimum. And most people cannot do that, so most people will not look like The Rock. So it's not about judging yourself, it's about progressing from where you're at. You start where you are. And no one's judging you but you. You will be the hardest judge of yourself. It took those strong men, Arnold Schwarzenegger and The Rock, hours upon hours and years upon years to get to their peak. In a previous video, I discussed MASK, motivation, accountability, structure, and knowledge. But if you're in any of the following situations, it's better, first of all, you see a doctor, if you have any of these situations. But if you are in any of the following, hire a trainer to help you. They'll show you those best exercises for you, and if you don't like it, you can say something. Can we try this? Can we try that? A trainer is a guide. It's like you being on a tricycle, learning how to ride a bicycle. They're to push you off so you can go on your own. I always tell people from the nutrition side and the personal trainer side, the best client I can have is the one who will never need me again. Of course, would I like you to pay me? Of course, yes. But the best client, in my opinion, that any trainer can have is the one that no longer needs them, because that means the trainer did their job. They taught you something to be a little independent at the gym. But the following situations, always suggested to see a doctor first. Young, you're new to the gym, even if you're, say, 22, you're an adult. It's still young, but you're an adult. If you don't know, see somebody, hire a trainer. If you're elderly, hire a trainer. Have any injuries or conditions, you see a doctor first, then you see a trainer. Or if you're unsure of things, have questions, don't know what's best for you, again, my opinion, that any single trainer would love to hear your questions. They want to hear themselves talk. They want to hear themselves be knowledgeable. And yes, I am guilty of that. Quite guilty of that, actually. But you would only hurt yourself by not asking questions or asking for help. I got this. I don't need your help. What happens if you get injured? You didn't have that. So, and again, motivation. The hardest part. a kick in the backside to help you get started. If you are able to keep your goal in mind, your why, use that to your advantage. One trick I used for myself, and I would tell people this, not as much as other things, but I would tell them every so often, is to pack a gym bag each night before bed to carry with you to the car in the morning. The trick, for me was that if I were to stop home from work before going to the gym, I'd stop, I'd take my shoes off, I'd eat dinner and say, oh, I don't feel like moving. And I wouldn't go to the gym. The trick, so it was a huge advantage to have the gym bag, because then you go straight home and then you can go home. I used to plan my days like that, and I found that it worked, so hopefully that's helpful for you. Another trick is to, if you have a gym near your job, good for you. And also what worked for me was, there was a job that I'm thinking of that it would take me 2 hours to drive 40 miles home from work. 2 hours. Traffic. It was a chain gym. They were all over the place. There was one near the end of the parkway where depends on which way I'm going, but near the end of the parkway at my job. So I would stop there going home. And another suggestion is that I also had the same gym chain. It was right around the corner from where I lived. It was less than a quarter of a mile away. Stop at the gym. I have my gym bag. I go straight to the gym. And when I leave the gym, I'm home literally about a minute and a half later. So use that to your advantage. Do that as part of the motivation. Take a gym bag. Sign up at a gym near work or where you can stop. These are just two suggestions technically. That helps me a ton. I hope I'm telling you that to help you. Something that also works if you're a beginner, I'm open on here, I suffer from depression. And one of the best things I would do is go to the gym before work. If I had to be at work at 9 o'clock, get up at 5 a.m., go to the gym, shower, bang, I have my gym bag, go straight to work. What a help it was. The depression, you see the sunrise, puts you in a great mood. I did something good for myself, and I get to see, look at this, look how nice it is before the world gets crowded. Such a day in such a great tone, such a great mood for the day. Having that, how is that bad? But on that note, I think I'm going to end it. And when you go to the gym, you do those exercises, the yoga, the bicycling. Let me go back to the notes. The Stairmaster, rollerblading. Those are good exercises to start at the gym. Basketball, some gyms have that. Do those things to burn your calories. You find the right mix of cardio and muscle. Depends on how much time you have. Understandably, people are rushed with work. But on that note, I hope this was a help. And see you on another day.